Yeah, hello guys, I guess we should start now. Okay, so good morning everyone. I am Keshav Tiwari and I am an MS student at Computer Science Department. For today's session, we have with us Dr. S. Shivashankari. She is an alumnus of our institute and she received her MS and PhD from Engineering Design Department. Previously, she has worked as a design engineer at Hindustan Motors and currently she is working at Ford Motors as CI Global Manager. She has 15 plus years of industry experience and she was featured in an India Today article as the Iron Maiden of India. Last year, we had the competition 5-minute thesis where students presented their work in under 5 minutes, and she was the judge for that event. And now she'll talk to you about how you should present your thesis in under 5 minutes so that when we have this event again in the coming months, so you will have an idea of what to do. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Shikshankari. You can start.
Good day to all. Thank you for this opportunity. I should say Sunday morning, people are awake and 11 o'clock they are joining means that's the spirit and dedication of the research scholar. So really happy to see many people here and we can go to the presentation. Okay, so I hope it's visible and the voice is clear.
Yeah, your voice is clear and it is visible.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Initially, I thought when from the Research Connect they called me and asked for this event, I thought I have to do the same thing like last year, have to come and read the research paper and really give some suggestions. How do we connect industry and the academics? But later I understood the presenter is me. So I, I do have all the thing what the students will face, and you can think me as a senior because just 2 years back I have completed, but still there are a lot of value additions from the industries and the 8 years journey in IIT Madras. So about myself, as he told Sivashankari, and currently I am the manager. I was working after BTech in Hindustan Motors and Ford, right? And Ford, I'm completing 15 years. I was doing this MS and PhD as a part-time candidate. So that's how the last 8 years up to 2020, I was a student of IIT Madras. And my research is about computational spine research. This is about creating a human spine model for the application of occupant safety and bio. So occupant safety is associated with the automotive and bio is my personal aspiration. This is the brief about that. The reason I will explain why I have touched upon the research in the further upcoming slides. And today we have a title called How to Present Your Work or Thesis in 5 minutes. If you see here, there are underlines under H, P, and 5. So our key focus is going to be about those three things for the event so that the upcoming session when students are coming, they can have some base checklist kind of thing, what to check upon before presenting or making their presentation. And bonus content, this is if since I could able to see as a student what is the academic side and as a manager on the corporate side, I could able to see the correlation and important information for the students during the research time. So I thought I will add it as a bonus content. And finally, we can conclude with the Q&A. I would call more of a discussion session because it will be two-way interaction. Even now, if you have some doubts or something something I have to explain clear, please feel free to type in the chat panel. With this agenda, so let's go. But before going into the content, we should know why we are here. Definitely, you know, that's how you have spent. But I would like to know what is your expectation? Why this topic is very important. So shall we go to the Slido and get to know your interaction so that you can scan from your mobile and share what is that you are expecting. if something I have to fine tune during my presentation so that I can make it, please take your mobile and you can scan and you can share why this topic is very important in the research scholar life. Whatever you think. So slido.com, if you can take the camera and make it, we can see some link coming up and you can go there and put the word, is it some critical or whatever you are expecting. Keshav, is this link is working?
I've just opened it, so yeah, it's working. So there's Q&A and there is
Great.
poll, right?
Sorry, what is that?
So there are two things in the link, like there is Q&A and there's the poll. Why is this topic important?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, that'll work.
So you could able to type something, right?
Yeah, we are able to type. So guys, please go ahead and ask if you have any questions.
Yeah. Okay. So we could able to see here the responses. It's crisp, it is focused clearly and to the point without much explanation. How effectively our research work can be presented in a short time. Excellent. Articulation. Brilliant, brilliant. It's required to explain our research work, to follow researchers in a short span and get to know their feedback. Excellent. Thank you so much for the response. And I would like to share my personal experience about this one, why it is important. During my research scholar days, I used to carry the presentation we used to make for seminars or GTC or DC meeting presentations, right? So I will be carrying in my mobile phone. And if I have to talk, or I usually refer from there because it's handy wherever we are going, we can refer. So once there was a big person in my field of research. He's from US and he was presenting an event. He was a chief guest for an event, and after the event we will get some time, right, where the students can interact. So I got the 2-3 minutes with the person. His resume is like 64 pages publication. He's such a high person in my area of research, and he's a director of a big college. And he gave me a time, and then in my mobile I just browsed him. Within a minute, this is what my research is about. So when I'm presenting to such a big person in the field, I was getting the confidence, and he was listening whatever it could be, but the way he listened made me convinced that this research is going in a good direction. After he went to US, he actually shared 10 papers. Actually, where is the gap my research can fill, or it can be further progressed. So usually the students, direct students, it will take 2 months for get his appointment directly to talk. But because of that 1 or 2 minutes, how we are presenting our research in a crisp way, but still delivering all the content, I really got a important breakthrough in my research. That is one of the practical example what I want to say, because I didn't expect that this is going to happen. But because of that, I got a very impactful, like 7-3 impactful publications. So there is a good value addition because of this process. And you always, as the participants told, we will get the clarity, we will get the focus. And every time when we present, we will understand what is that gap and how do we progress the research in the next upcoming times by self itself. So as we told, we are going to focus on 3 things, right? How present, and 5 minutes. This is what we used to see. And the compilation of all this comes as a mindset, and we will understand the paper. Because sometime the thesis or work researcher is presenting may be directly related or partially related, or at times it will be completely unrelated, but still we can understand how the research is going on. So when we have that, the mindset, see, this is our 3 years to 8 years of investment. So it is a huge potential work, our sincere dedication. We have to present and give the best. This is the best research in our field. That mindset should be there, and listening and observing whatever the people around that they are saying. So with that mindset, if you can deliver, you will deliver the best portion of your thesis work, because you would have done so many things in 5 years. But the best thing you will pick, and then you can place it. So why, when you put the best thing, what it is creating the impact. Usually when movies are there, that's what I heard. Actually, after the research, I also started to learn how to see movie, what are all the learnings. So one of the thing, if the movie is fantastic or not, whether we have to invest our 2.5 hours of time or further discussion or anything, the teaser will make it. Or if you take a book, whether you want to read or not, the preface will make it. So it's like creating an impact. It's actually, this is big, and I'm going to present that impact the student is creating during this 5 minutes presentation. And know the audience. Why we should know the audience? Because sometimes the people may be the academic strong person, sometimes maybe the industry strong person. So their thinking process will be little different. How it is different is, know the audience means, if it is an academic person is the panel member, they will look more of a technical depth, how the fundamentals it is working, what is the unique contribution or novelty or something, what is the benefit this project can offer, what is the practical application within the time frame when we can implement this. So know the audience. And sometime we go to some conference also, or like event like Shastra, our technical event, where we have to present the poster for 1 hour, 2 hours, students will be there. Even the kids will come from school, KV or somewhere, the kids will come and they will ask. So know the audience and give them the information, understand the pulse, and make it practice, so that what they want, you will understand, and you can slightly tweak your presentations and the content, and it will be possible to finish within 5 minutes. And the framework is, it's a board will show the series of thing, and which is the best you have to pick. It will give the clarity, and followed by the appendix. Even though it is a 5 minutes presentation, we always make some 2 or 3 slides, but always it's good to have all the appendix backed up, because there could be a one point which is of major interest. They may ask that, so you can add it as appendix. I can show that example in the next slide. And when we come to present, what is that it should be there? Introduction, motivation, scope. So these are all the things we get to know from the literature survey. In this research area, what is the current happenings? What is that I can contribute after 5 years or 10 years? Because we are starting the research means after some 3 to 5 years only the real fruitful outcome we can expect. So we have to think ahead of the future. After 5 years, still it will be a problem, and it is not the immediate thing which someone is already working and they are going to solve. So that's the introduction, motivation. And from there, you will define the scopes. But the reason I'm saying is all these things we have to cover in the 5 minutes. So whatever underline the problem statements, novelty, and journals published, it's very difficult to cover all the points in 5 minutes, but still there is a possibility. But even if we miss, or if you want to insist, we have to really talk about the problem statement. What is the big problem, and why it is not solved till now, and what is our unique contribution, that novelty. And when we conclude the things with the journals publication, usually there won't be any questions from the panel members or audience, because they will see, okay, the journal is published in the multiple things. So definitely there is something good in this work. It gives a confidence just in a flash of the second. It doesn't mean that whoever doesn't wrote, it's not a thing or something, but when they say journal is published, there is a weightage, what it can create for the people. And 5 minutes. So whatever we did in the how, whatever we did in the present, we are going to incorporate both the things in that 5 minutes. The key portion milestones only we are going to present, because our research will have multiple objectives, multiple contribution, but we can pick top 1 or 2, depends on the thing what you like to explain, elaborate. And always instead of more words, we can put a lot of pictures and table, because in the 5 minutes, if they see the tables and picture, they can easily understand, and it will be very interesting for the people around there as an audience. What is this? What it depicts? And the size of the 5 minutes, it's best one page, because more content we have to put in a page, we have to filter one by one, and we have to really pick and choose and put. But it's not really possible. We can extend to few pages also. And this 5 minutes, it's a practice we will do for DC meetings. We will do for events like Shastra, poster presentation. So everywhere, really, we will spend 5 minutes only in our Viva or in some bigger presentations. It may extend for 10 to 20 minutes. So whatever we are learning in this 5 minutes, it's going to help for a research scholar at many, many places. So we can see still more information about how present 5 minutes, because till now we have seen the theoretical part and explanations, but really we want to see some pictures, right? That will register in our mind. So moving to the next slide, we see how the mindset we told already. The mindset, it should create, it should believe first, this is a big research, we are doing a big contribution, and we will do our best. So with that preface of a book, it will leave the impression, this is big, I really want to know, wow, wonderful contribution. And we told what is that, know the audience, and what is the benefit of knowing the audience. Because to a research, I mean to maybe a corporate person who are like in a finance, if we talk about more technical fundamentals, their interest is on the profits, what it can gain within a short time. So know the audience and pick those portions alone. And framework, we told, right? Framework, for example, this is a framework for my research, what I used, but I really prepared this during my MS days. How do I progress? This is a flow chart. Every time I'm because I'm a part-time scholar, so I have to concentrate on 2 full things. So whenever I want to start a research, it should be immediate. I should not think like where I left, when I will start. So this one helped me a lot. And what I have to do. So I will choose, for example, I'm in the box. Initially, everyone will do introduction, identification, literature survey. And then I have segregated into 2 categories. Similarly, you can segregate, and every semester or 1 year I have complete that will be added. And what is the outcome? Okay. Similarly, this is what the framework. So when you are presenting like 5 minutes, you can show this and say, this is the thing, and here is the contribution. If it is a 1-pager, I will still elaborate and show you what are all the results. Now, to keep it as a crisp and just have to give some ideas, I'm keeping like this. This is called what I feel framework, and really it helped a lot. It's a one-time investment of time, but every time this refinement gives a lot of clarity and the aim to the presenters. And the appendix, which we told, since we have multiple objectives, maybe sometimes even in Viva or something, they will ask about one objective. So when we try to explain a lot, it's very difficult, but as appendix, we can add as a separate PPT. For example, I had objectives 1, 2, 3. I had 6 objectives. So in this, if anybody is asking about objective 2, I have a backup slide itself. So because in our Viva, they will ask 10 to 12 slides maximum you keep. Rest of the things, they really don't have time to evaluate during that time. So we can add it as appendix. And if it is going up quickly, we can open and then show what it is. And it gives a lot of clarity in a very short time. So this is my one of the learning. And how we completed. And next is about the present. So when we present, what is the motivation or problem statements, everything we will do with the 5 W's and 1 H. That's what earlier in quality principle, whenever we fix our project title also, or our research title also, it has to answer mostly all of this: what, when, who, where, why, how. Because making a title is very difficult as a research scholar. We used to iterate many times to make the title. Definitely, I think many of the research scholar would agree. They would have kept some title in the starting, and then they would have refined during the time of Viva, or during the second seminar time. They will iterate a lot because their research will have a lot of outcomes during that time, peak potential. In addition to that, they have added a new thing: what if, so what, and what next for our topic. So this is like helps to answer the questions asked by the people, even in a panel members, or during the Viva or thesis we are submitting. They will ask these kind of things. Paper publication, this will be the kind of major thing. Reviews, there is a lot of opportunity that the paper will get mostly accepted in a very few revisions. And if we see here, this is another critical thinking. So we have to make things interesting, right? How many times we can see only the words and thing. Our mind has to understand the picture easily. So it's like understanding a problem. There is a water, and a researcher is seeing that, and they're exploring the boundaries. How do we avoid the spill? And there is a questions assumption, which we call, and imagine new perspective. Because in our research, always they will ask, what is your hypothesis? So by doing this, this may happen. So we have to be very clear in our hypothesis, and we will have the solution driven based on that. So this is what identify the weakness. And so these are all the so much of work what is happening during our background, and we are consolidating what we have to present and what are all the key items. So the next one, the 5 minutes. Yeah. So the 5 minutes we told, right, what is the milestone? Milestone means, for my case here, I have pasted like this charts. There are 6 objectives and there will be a link. So if I say my 5th objective is mesh assessment for numerical fidelity, and how I arrived at that: performing element quality analysis with quality indicator to meet the mesh acceptance criteria. So when we say after problem statement, what are all the objectives we have derived, how we have achieved. So it will be like a very crisp presentation, and the link will be there. This hyperlink, if we click, it goes to that and show the animation or shot, and then it comes back. This is one of the thing which really helped a lot for me, because after some presentation, the professor, so we can show this is our objective. Whatever we presented, it's all related to that. All our objectives we have covered. So next is about the Gantt chart. Always they will ask what is the future scope. So if we show this Gantt chart, this is how you have covered in this year, and next, what is the upcoming plan? Because these are all the things you can just flash in a few milliseconds, and then they will understand, okay, there is a future scope and it's already completed 80%. And every slide, and the third you are seeing right here, every slide we can write the content, what we supposed to talk. Because whatever we are preparing 100%, maybe 70 to 80% at least, if we deliver, that's the best shot. So we can write every points then and there, whatever is coming, and then we can present in that thing. So that's what pictorial and table representation will be nice, and one pagers or a few pagers will be really helpful. So as a whole, it may look like we have covered so many things, how I will do in 5 minutes, but really these are all the things, whatever we have invested, and then we are going to paste. So moving to the next one, this is a sample. So if somebody is asking my research paper, I can explain in 1 minute or 5 minutes or any minutes just with this one slide. Because we told know the audience, and here it shows. Always I say I completed my research in IIT Madras from this time to this time, and my research title is this one, high fidelity. So what is my loyalty? It's coming in the front itself. The high fidelity, that's a unique contribution for this research, and how I did finite element, where I did for thoracic lumbar, and what are all the applications. It's for autonomous vehicle we can use, for bioenvironment we can use. So mostly when we take time and read the heading, it is self-answerable whatever we have done in 5 years. And we can give a summary. What is this all about? Safety and health of human spine. Safety is occupant safety in automotive, and health is ergonomics aspects for human spine. And if we put the publications, this is what the publication, it's Elsevier, and the conclude with impact factor. Okay, so the students did something, they have a journal paper, yes, and they did conference poster. So they have some more things for them, and key areas. If we highlight the key areas, they can really choose, okay, the student knows all these things in all this field, they can contribute. If they are interested, they can go in depth and ask. And we can we can add some animations here or some videos, because the presenter may understand depth, or they may be in a different field, but if we give a small video, adds a lot of value. Okay, otherwise they will ask, because of this, where we can apply, how we can apply, so many things. And this is the flow chart. So according to the person, if they're an image processing specialist, I used to explain here a lot, or I just say this is an image processing, CAD, CAE, and we did the CAE analysis. Because of this, I got the survival function with respect to the axial force. So we can model the seat designs, and accordingly, during the safety incidents, the injury to the spine will be minimum if we use this equation, axial force, strain, and energy observed, period. So it's like few seconds we can easily cover. So this is one of the sample would like to share. And coming to the bonus content, journal publication tips. Okay, before going to this, do I need to really talk anything on this 5 minutes? How do we prepare or present, or what is the expectation? I was given 30 minutes to present this, and the next 30 minutes will be a Q&A, they told. So I hope with the 28 minutes we are kind of in the same pace. Okay. It's a link for the Slido. If there is no chat, I can move to the bonus content, because our main topic is how to present in 5 minutes our work or thesis. Okay, so bonus content. Why really I have added this bonus content is, as a student, I really had a tough time in the 8 years of MS and PhD during my journal publication phase. Because what I thought initially was different, but the moment I realized it is almost a little bit late, and I have to invest another 1-2 years I have invested extra, because I didn't realize these points earlier. So really, I thought we should share, apart from the content, to the students, 2 per semester. I mean, initially they told two papers per semester. I thought, really, is it possible? I would say it's not possible, but it's worth giving a shot, because if you aim for a Mars, you can land in the moon. In the first few years, or first year or second year, if we try for 2 papers per year, we will understand how to write a paper, how to understand a paper. When we try to write, we will really understand how to read a paper, what is the content it is there. And the second year, we will be in a pace with the clarity. Yes, if I have to do the paper, these are all the things. But you can think during that time, I really didn't do any research. How will I write a paper? We can write a review papers, or we can write a small conference, small tutorials also we can write, because it's basically a practice of writing. But really, when I started to write the journal publications, the moment I used to think on the last thing, reviewer, what they will think, what they will ask. From there, my research really progressed as a very exponential phase, I should say, compared to the first 5 years. So if we follow this, we will know how to do the literature survey, because the literature survey, the people do even that last phase of thesis also, because it's very important. We have to be updated, and research has to be correlated. And how do we make our paper get published? Because many students, they did excellent research, and after 5 or something, they will try to put a paper. By the time only they will learn, and they will learn the techniques of which journal, how long it will take, review, and which is the potential publications for their research work. So it will take another 2 years. So the potential students who are capable of finishing in 4 or 5 years, they will spend 2 years more, and 7 years it will take. So it's worth spending the time, your precious time during the research for getting the maximum publication. And next is about the technical plus interpersonal skills, because when we travel as a research scholar, our journey is going to be mostly a lonely journey. Like BTech or MTech, we will not have a group mass mostly. We will pick a course and we will go and come back. Our research, after a certain point of time, it's more of that only we can understand a lot compared to any other person. So it's like isolated journey on a long run. So we may forget, or we may have little time, or we sometimes we may be unaware there is an interpersonal skill which is so much required. And during the time of interview or placements, we will realize that, and suddenly we will try to pick it up. Okay, we have to do this. It's very difficult, because this is a journey like our research. It has to come, and we have to connect, and what's happening in the global, so like conference or going to the event like this, research connect. So that's what I meant, apart from the technical, because there are many people who are technically great, but they have not reached the higher ladder where they supposed to be. They have a potential, but because of the subtle interpersonal skills, there is a gap, and they were not in that position. That really very sad to see. They have a potential, they should be in a good position, their hard work should be recognized. So that's the reason I thought we'll slightly touch upon what is that cooperation with the surrounding peers. And this is an interesting portion, thesis writing days. So this is from phdcomics.com, right? So during our college days, always we will see from PhD Comics, and each and everything will be funny. Um, because the journey is very tough. But writing your thesis, when I initially want to write the thesis, when I asked the people, they told it will take 1 year, or it will take 6 months, so and so. But really, I took concentrated 15 days. The people may think 15 days only. Even I will think 15 days, only one person can finish the thesis, but it happened. But if, because for me, when I'm working in the office, I have to get a leave for 2 weeks, which can happen yearly once. So I have to wait next year to get that 2 weeks constant holidays. So that's another thing, knowing the importance. And always I was systematic during my studies, because in office, when we talk anything, they will ask what is the backup data. So every time we don't want to go to the scratch. If I read some journal publication, it will be mentally what is the key takeaway of that, and it will be in year wise, and what are all the objectives I have. Accordingly, the paper will be organized. So the same things. No. And during that 15 days, definitely every day I worked 16 hours with the constant focus. I'm not spoken to anybody, literally. Very, very rarely I used to come out of the room and get some food, then I just go. So it was very difficult to get that constant and focus. There is a lot of efforts. That's what the people say. Thinking about the writing your thesis, it's a major time. And fiddling with latex, what is the format we have to use, Grammarly, spell check, plagiarism, so many things are there. And to look details, that will take another time. But actually what you are writing your thesis is a very small time. That's very powerful, because you are putting a lot of focus. In a day, full day you may study, but the focused delivery may be for an hour or even 30 minutes. So that's what they say. So for thesis writing days, during our research days itself, we have to be very organized so that it will be very systematic to complete our thesis. And industry and academics connect. Here I have told you what are the people will industry will look more, and what the academics they will look for more. So as a student, we can balance between these industries and the academic. Madras is having a research park, incubation cell, which is a fantastic facility. I think no IITs of other branches is having such a facilities. So where the company's research center is there, please go there and have a visit. And whatever the guest lecture like this, you can just give a shot. If you like, you can continue, otherwise you can go. The best part I liked in the IIT Madras is the guest lecture, because even president, prime minister, the best of the entrepreneurs, they will come to our campus, and we have a liberty to choose which topic we want without any hustle. We can just like that, we can go with the hostel dress, not proper, even with the uncombed hair, such a liberty to receive high valued lectures. So the facilities of our campus is excellent. So spending time for all these things makes unique value to your PhD journey. This is what I thought I will share as a bonus content for the research scholar. As a research scholar of IIT Madras and alum. So finally, I would like to thank the Research Connect, because this took extra efforts finding the people in the industry and how do we help and nurture the co-researchers. So really, we have to thank all their efforts and really appreciate them. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to connect to my college, my dear IIT Madras. And I hope this session would have definitely had some values. And if wishing you all the best to have your research successfully completed and on time with a bright future. Thank you. So Q&A and discussions. Over to the